Hello everyone, Hachadino over here, and today we are going to talk about Sublety. There have been some changes, some nerfs and some buffs, let's say. But before, remember, you can like and subscribe, and also check out the super sheet that we have with a lot of the videos available. I'm also, of course, going to put this one too. And next week, when we begin to do Mythic Zeros again, there's a full-on bot that I uploaded. You want to see more or less how Rogue does. But for now, let's get into the thick of it. Somebody got some single target buffs and AoE slash Cleave nerfs. This means that we are going to be doing a little bit more damage in single target from 8 to 6% more or less, depending on how things go. But there's also one thing that we don't know yet. That's why I don't want to say like solid numbers. It is not 100% that is that number, because remember, every time they buff Eviscerate and also Shadow Strike, Unseen, I think Unseen is kind of clear that it's going to be buffed. But remember, when they buff Eviscerate and Shadow Strike, everything that interacts with the clones that they make may not be buffed, because they have to manually go and put it into there. Now, as for the Black Powder nerf, then the Potent Powder, this is a way that we have to scale the damage with our Mastery. It's also nerfed. And Nimble Flurry has also been nerfed. This means that our coups are going to be weaker. Now, this is whatever. The Clever Combatant crit bonus for Shuriken Storm is reduced. This doesn't change anything. We are still going to be using Shuriken Storm in 3 targets and above. And in 2 targets, it's kind of neutral to use Storm or Shadow Strike. I usually use Shadow Strike because remember, you get that Lash proc at least once. And this means an overall 8% or something nerf in whole dungeon, 8 to 10%, depends on how they handle copies and other things. And on the dungeon, of course, dungeons that are more AoE heavy, like if you are doing those Algetars, a big pool if you do on Triumvirate, or other big pools in Windrunner or other places, you are going to be getting that. Now, as for single target, we are getting that buff and may become a little bit more on the 100k sim situation. It still hasn't been updated, but when it's been updated, you can check that one, and will be a little bit closer or almost the same as Outlaw. Now, do remember that there may be some further buffs and things like that, and there's also some cool things that we have been checking on the APL, like how would more haste go, or if you have a double haste trinket, and other things to also care about. I don't want to make the video longer. This is just single target buffed, AoE and Cleave nerfed. This may affect our ability rate because we were mainly there for the super Cleave snipes, but even with that nerf, I think we are still very, very good, because our damage is completely instant and very, very controlled. This means that we have dance when we want, and we have our cooldowns also when we need them. Have a nice day, and I will see you on the next video. Remember to like, subscribe, and everything. Bye bye.